So what I want to do is compare the top coding tools that are out today. Some of them just got released, and see how legit they are. Sam Altman just tweeted it. I'm really trying to play it cool here, but like, I'm gonna just say it. Codex might be the most impressive, most powerful AI product I've ever touched, all things considered. The async ability especially is on another level. Like, it's not just a technical leap, it's transcendent. I've used basically every AI coding tool and platform out there. Blah, 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 blah. So this is, let's see, Codex. Let's see if I can get it. Upgrade to try it. Bro, I have to spend $200 to get Codex. Okay, just for the video, we're gonna do it. So what we're gonna do is compare Codex to the current best-in-class coding like assistant, which is, in my opinion, or has been so far, Cursor. But what's cool is that if we look at Google Jules, bro, I have to fix this. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to put my smoke alarm in the freezer. So, by the way, it's been a while, guys. I haven't been making quality content lately, but I think this one's gonna be good. Let's have it do something really small at first here. So let me run this app on my iPhone, just so you can see what we're working with here. So we're gonna have Jules, which is Google's coding AI assistant, which they just released, to see if it can help develop this iOS application I have here. What I want to do is update my check-ins. So as you can see on the top right of this iPhone app, you can click check-in. And what that'll do is it'll basically send all my old data to an AI, and then it'll create this report. I put it in disciplinarian mode, so it's gonna be really harsh. But as you can see, it's looking at my completion rates, and here, let me go to the reports, and it's very unhappy. So you're falling far below your acceptable standards, blah, 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 blah. And it's giving me item statistics and sub-item statistics, which is basically like my completion rate over the past month on my tasks. So this is what I want to change here. If you look at the analysis section here towards the middle, it's giving me all these numbers and percentage completion rates. I kind of want that to be more visual. Let's see if Jules can do that. Look at the reports view.swift file. The analysis section better formatted visually with completion rate bars so I can see the visual completion percentage. Supposedly it's asynchronous, so I can give it another task. Although I don't know how that's going to work if it's editing the same code base, because then it's going to have to rebase and whatnot. So like, it's already taking so long. I'm not enthused by that. Jules is experiencing heavy traffic. So I guess everyone's spamming Jules to see how it works. And then after this, we're going to compare it to Codex and then just normal Cursor. By the way, these companies, except for Google's priced pretty low, but are priced so high in the market right now that our, like, basically our general market PDE ratio is like insane, like considerably higher even than the internet bubble. But I get the sense that this is like, I don't know, it is a true exponential. Okay, so this is kind of cool. It's showing me the code changes here. Now supposedly it's testing it. Like, I don't know how it would test an iOS app. Does it have like an iOS virtual machine? I've made the code changes to add progress bars to the analysis section. However, I'm able to build the project run test in the current environment to build it. Yeah, so it can't actually run Xcode. So this is good to know. So it only added 63 lines of code. Let's publish the branch and see. It took 8 minutes to do this. Let's see if the code works. Compilers. And like, this is obviously going to be one of the issues, is if you have a large code base, the best models right now, they're all pretty much, I mean, it's between Gemini, the Sonnets. To me, they're all about the same level. There's not that much differentiation between the best foundation models in terms of their coding ability, but the thing is, they struggle with large code bases. And the problem here is, like, when you're doing the asynchronous agents, you kind of need them to not break stuff. Otherwise, you just have to give it your full attention. And if you're gonna give it your full attention, you might as well just use Cursor. Okay, next, let's compare Codex. So let's give it the identical prompt, so this is a more fair test. Boom. Code. Now, Codex shouldn't be overloaded because it does cost me $200, which I think I just wasted thinking. See, it's already much faster, but I think that's just because they gated it. Whereas Jules is completely free, so everyone's just spamming it. I don't know why it's reading easy list view. I just didn't need that for the reports view. I like the UI of this much better though. Okay, so this is cool. I basically have a terminal where I can install to my virtual environment. Like already, in my opinion, Codex is much better than Jules. Like Jules doesn't have a way to install dependencies and whatnot, does it? So this one claims it made a progress bar and it's unable to run a test. I think these AIs are somewhat not well integrated into Swift development, iOS development. So we have a new branch now. Let's check this one out. Okay. And let's run this. Let's see if it runs. Okay, this one actually built, so it's winning so far. Reports. Bruh, that's beautiful. Look at the progress bars it has. Okay, Codex wins, but it does cost $200. And finally, let's check it against Cursor, which is going to be our baseline. We're just going to use, should we use Sonnet? Let's do auto select. So we're just using generic Cursor. Let's see what it does. So Cursor is much faster. Here you can see it also gave us progress bars. And it actually looks like these progress bars are better, because if I had to guess, the color of the bar is proportional to how much we've progressed, and the bars are slightly bigger, so you can see them better. Pure Cursor just won. Okay, now that was a pretty basic task. So now we're gonna ask Jules, which is Google's AI coding assistant, a more difficult task. Look at the check-in process. I want you to make streaming part of the chat so the user can see updates while the AI is analyzing for the check-in and report creation. Okay, cool. And then simultaneously, I'm gonna kick off that exact same prompt with ChatGPT's, OpenAI's. I'm gonna give it the exact same task, and we're gonna see if it can do it. The reason this is like such a difficult task is because it requires it to understand quite a bit of the architecture of the app. And really you're asking it to update both the server and the client code. I think none of these are going to one-shot this problem, and they're probably going to create compile errors, if anything. So the Jules is still working, Google's, and it looks like OpenAI's Codex is done. So let's check out their branch. All right, let's push. There's no way this is correct, by the way, because it changed 49 lines of code. Okay, let's copy the branch and let's check it out. Okay, let's run it, and build failed. Okay, it failed this task, which I was almost positive it would. And here Jules is still working. While Jules works, let's try to edit it here, and we're gonna give it the same exact prompt, and we're gonna see if Cursor can do it. I don't think it even knows to go to the server, but maybe the server doesn't need to be updated. Okay, so Cursor obviously completed the task very rapidly. Let's see if Cursor's runs, which I very much doubt it's gonna compile. Yeah, so Cursor doesn't even compile either. And Jules is still working to this day. So if we look here, we called this at 1:06. It's now like over 15 minutes and it's still working on the same thing. So it's taking too long. Let's stop this guy. How do we stop it? Okay, so we paused the task. It's taking too long, and there's no way that Jules gets it right, so it's all good. So let's compare side by side. First is Codex. Codex worked pretty well for the first part. The thing is, to me, Codex doesn't beat Cursor still. Essentially, if you're kicking off asynchronous tasks, the only reason you do that is if the task is long enough that you can basically kick it off and then go do something else for the interim. The only way that works is if long tasks generally work. And the issue I've found is if you basically have your agent writing enough code to where it's taking minutes and minutes to do, and you have a large code base which has grown in complexity, the AI just can't do it without creating compile errors, at least in my experience. It's kind of like the self-driving thing. It's like the self-driving can do basic stuff, but then to get from basic to being able to do everything has taken years and years and years. You kind of need the AI to be able to do everything well in order to actually use asynchronous tasks, in my opinion. So, is Codex and Jules a game changer? I mean, I think AI coding in general is a huge game changer, but I don't think they beat Cursor currently. In my opinion, is Codex worthwhile? I think it's a very niche use case, honestly. You kind of need a lot of oversight using these tools. So it doesn't make much sense having multiple agents working for you at once. Would I spend the $200 a month for Codex? No. Cursor is much more bang for your buck. Alright, that's the video. Peace out, guys.